Oh, hello, and welcome to Unfiltered with Matt. Today's episode, we're going to review Saved by the Bell on Peacock. And I'm crying not because the show is terrible, but because they canceled it. And it's actually really good. But before we get started, let's cue the intro. So, welcome to today's episode of Unfiltered with Matt. I don't even know what to say there because I'm still devastated by the news that this show was canceled. And we're going to get into it and talk about it. I really enjoyed this. And if you haven't checked it out, I recommend it. So I'm just throwing it out there. So you don't have to watch the rest of the video? No, hopefully you stay and watch the rest of the video. But let's get started, right? I loved this show more than I thought. When you're looking at reboots and, taking something from an original idea such as Saved by the Bell and continuing it, sure, it had its fans. I actually watched all of Saved by the Bell. So any iteration that they had, where they go to Hawaii, where they go to Las Vegas, where Kelly gets married, where they go to college years, I watched all of them before I watched this show. So, looking at the show, I feel that it's actually better than the original. And maybe that's because for the times right now, Saved by the Bell obviously was successful, and it was a good show, but it did not age well in certain areas, and we'll get in that in our review. I picture Saved by the Bell, this new series, of having a mixture of some instances from the original with a little bit of glee mixed in this crazy world of comedy, and normal rules don't apply here, so it's not like a normal school, which makes it that much more funny and much more enjoyable to actually go through. Imagine everything superficial that you could think about rich kids going to school in a very highly influenced by their wealth kind of school. So you're still going to have the mean girls. You're still going to have those little cliques in there. But it's really nice what they've done with this show. You're going to have Easter eggs from the original series. You have teachers who were teachers in the original series still teaching at the Bayside in the TV show, which I really enjoyed. You also get nods to the actual original series. So lots of the characters in the show actually reference past events. So we have Jesse, who is a doctor now, but I believe a psychiatrist at the school. And there's a moment in one of the episodes, and there's 2 seasons of this show, where the other characters ask her, "Where were you?" She goes, "I was in Vegas." She goes, "What happened in Vegas?" And she says, "Well, I almost killed this girl by pushing her down the stairs." And her friends are like going, "Oh my God, what happened?" And that's a reference to the actress who plays Jessie, that she was in a movie called Showgirls, which bombed. I actually did enjoy that show, that movie as well. So as far as the story of Saved by the Bell, here we have kids from another school in California, Douglas, which is not doing so well. They're in a less privileged section as far as finances, and they decide to close their school. So Zach, who's the current governor and was a main character in Saved by the Bell, Zach Morris, decides, really kind of forced, to send all the kids from Douglas to Bayside because they closed their school. And this is where they're introduced to a whole new world of privilege, and to their surprise, they gain a lot more going to the school than they thought they would. So they discover friends and opportunities that they never thought, and get to achieve nhưng or have a chance to achieve their dreams with these new opportunities. And like I said before, this show is hilarious. But it does have some serious moments. It talks about trans issues. It talks about unbalanced education system, to name a few. But it always throws in comedy between all of the different events, and it's always like throwing something new at you. There are trans characters in the show. There are bi characters, gay characters. There's lots of diversity in the show, but what I like about the show, it doesn't make it about the diversity. These are characters that, yes, are diverse, but they are still just kids going to a school, and I really enjoy that. So, breaking down from our characters, now that we know the basic story is that, kids from Douglas going to Bayside, kind of a mixture of two worlds. We get to look at our original cast members, which Jessie, as I indicated, is a doctor, therapist, or psychiatrist at the school. I love seeing her, achieving her dreams, going back and doing well for Bayside. Some of her original kind of quirks, like she did a campaign for like a protest in the original series about styrofoam cups, and she still has that kind of kick about styrofoam cups and that. And then she got addicted to caffeine pills, and they have an episode with that. Trying to throw a nod to that. So someone takes out a bottle of caffeine, and she's like, "Ah, stop it! You don't know how dangerous it could be." Which now, today, with everything else and what we know about things, actually wasn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. We also see that Slater, who was the athletic character and very fit in the original series, is a gym teacher, so perfect fit at the school and supports the kids as well. We get to see the relationship between him and Jessie advance in the 2 seasons of the show. And this is something that in the original series that they were together, they broke up, and then you never saw them together again. And I think a lot of people really liked that connection for the characters. I know I did. So it's nice to see them gain their chemistry back together and kind of reminisce about those times at Bayside in the past, and for us to go along in that journey as well. We also get to see Kelly and Zach, who in the original series got married. They're not in the show much, and maybe that's for the best because Zach as a character, when you watch the original series, there's even like YouTube videos about it. Zach was a jerk, and some of his original things that he did don't really hold up well. I think he set up like cameras in the girls' bathroom and other antics that he did, which today, that character was really annoying. I mean, looking back, I was like, geez, this character's not even hardly redeemable. He's a bad friend, and so having him here, he's still kind of the same character, but he's delivered in smaller doses, which make it easier to digest and make sense why he's here. So it doesn't hurt the show at all. It complements the show. Kelly, in the original series, she made some terrible decisions. She was about to go to school and study abroad. She stopped and actually married Zach instead of going abroad when, she could have actually just studied and then married him afterwards. But they call that out, all of her poor choices in the original series and the new series. We're also introduced, like I said, to new characters besides the ones that we're familiar with. And other characters do make an appearance. We get to see Lisa make an appearance in the show. They do pay tribute to Screech, the actor who played him as well, which was nice. But as far as the new characters, we're introduced to a new character of Daisy, who was original student of Douglas. She wants to get the most out of Bayside and wants to do her best. She wants to win class president, which I think she does in the series. She's an overachiever. She's always involved in everything and is trying her best to acclimate to school and doing a really good job as, meeting her grades and that. And you get to see, more development with her and her story in the show. And then you get to see Jamie, who is actually Jesse's son. I mean, he's in the football team. He's not even good at football. and Jesse is afraid to tell him that he's bad at football. Uh, and he just has a really kind heart. Not the smartest, not the most talented, but he is, like I said, the heart, and he's the heart of the show, I think, as far as a character. And I really do enjoy the character Jamie. We also have Mac Morse, who's another student at Bayside, and he is not from Douglas, so he is Zach Morris's son. He's like his father, up to his old tricks. He seems a lot like his dad, but what they did in the show to make the character a little different is that he does have some redeeming moments. So he's not like Zach where you go, wow, this guy's completely unredeemable, a jerk. So he does so in this comedic way have his, quirks about him that are very familiar to Zach, but the show does a good job of not making a complete jerk. And then we have Asia, who is Daisy's friend, also went to Douglas and is going to Bayside along with her. She's a football player who then becomes a quarterback at Bayside. She then becomes a wrestler. She, gets to do well in the school. She loves it being there. You get to see in the show this journey of the characters from Douglas mixing with the characters of Bayside and them forming this close bond and them growing through the show together and going here. And it's like, despite all the comedy, there's that connection that you're even building with them. You're like, oh, I feel like I'm going to school with you guys, and this feels like really fun. So we also have Devante, who's another student at Douglas, who goes to Bayside. And in the beginning, I wasn't sure how I would like Devante, because he was kind of like stand back, where everybody was kind of like closed off, being like maybe a little bit of a jerk. But you get to see that Devante, more so than any other character, shows the growth of the characters and show how much Bayside has changed them for the better. And, at first he didn't like going there. He was like really hesitant to join in any of the other extracurricular activities. Like he starts to sing and be in plays, and at the end of the show, all these things are happening to him. He was like, wow, I can't believe it. I'm enjoy being at the school. I'm happy to be here. So you get to see that growth for the character, and you really get to see that message about the friendship that they've all developed. And I really found that touching in the show. And the show, despite all its comedy, like I said, does deal with serious things and does have some heartfelt moments. So I really like that balance in here. So really liking this show, like I said. So we also have Principal Higgins, which is like Mr. Belding from the original series. He's the principal. He blends in with the cast well. He does have some heartfelt moments with helping the students remain in Bayside. There is a connection between him and Devante in one of the episodes in the series that really creates that connection between him and the other characters. So I saved my most favorite character for last, which is Lexi. Lexi's played by Josie, who does amazing. I feel like Lexi, as a character, could have her own show. This character, like I said, just steals the show. She's like a mean girl turned nice, but still has a sharp tongue and great comedic timing. She's bitch slapping students and telling off the whole school. She wears these crazy outfits. For some reason, she has her own office in the school. I remember the principal is announcing, he was like, hey, Daisy, please report to Lexi's office. And he's like, wait a minute, why does Lexi have an office in the school? So I found that really funny with the character, and she has like this one scene where she has like a snake dress that she tells everybody, hey, we're gonna do this, I'm gonna go to this dance and my dress is gonna be alive. And Asia goes up to her and goes, hey, I see that you just have a snake print dress, you actually said it was gonna be alive. And she was like, and then they show Lexi, and she has this eyeball open up out of her dress, and she was like, shh, go back down. It was like crazy. The show has like humor that just throws out to you out of nowhere, and it's just like I started laughing. So I really enjoyed her as a character. Lexi is trans, but it's part of the character, but it doesn't define the character. So yes, she's transgendered, but there's so much more to Lexi than that, and the show does a good way of balancing that. Like, yes, we're going to talk a little bit about trans, but it's going to be like, hey, we're going to talk about it, move on, move forward, and you're going to get to know this character. And she is amazing, and I can't wait to see like what else this actress has. So good talent. Oh my gosh, you can't stop watching her. So if you're looking for a good laugh, I highly recommend this show. I can see myself putting on the show whenever I'm feeling down just to give myself a pickup. I can't speak how much I really enjoyed this show. The way it blends the original cast with the new cast, I didn't find insulting at all to the original. I had my concerns with the story of Douglas and Bayside, but it worked out better than I thought it would. The final episode of season 2 makes you want more, but is a good closing to the series that leaves you imagining what was next for the characters. I'm happy that I got to know these characters, and I don't regret watching the show even though it was canceled. I just keep on thinking about it so much because I really enjoyed how it made me feel, and it's really left like a positive impact for me. So they've talked about season 3 if it would have happened, because unfortunately Peacock did cancel it, and they indicated that they really wanted to bring back Leah Remini to play her character, who was a previous love interest of Zach, and she would return and kind of throw like this conflict between Kelly and Zach's marriage. We would have been able to see more antics with the students and that hilarious kind of back and forth between them. More Lexi. Yes, please. And then, of course, getting to see more with Jesse and Slater's relationship continue to evolve. And we just got them to kiss and we're like so happy. And then they're like, sorry, we're not going to renew season 2. Crazy. It's sad that we're not going to get to see this. I just wish that Peacock did a better job of advertising the show. This is like a gem. And it wasn't like I quickly saw a little bit of it. But I didn't, there wasn't much with the, at least for me, like as far as advertising, I discovered it, and there's nothing like discovering something like you're like, oh my god, I can't believe no one else has seen this. I'm getting to see something so special that no one else is seeing, but now I just want to share it with everybody because it didn't even get a season 3. So upsetting. So again, I can't say enough positive about the show. I would go and recommend to see it if you haven't. Tell me your thoughts. If you have seen it, what do you think? Which is your favorite character? Did you love Lexi as much as I did? I'm going to do more reviews in regards to other shows and talk about other things. If you really like what you're seeing, leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. All free, no charge, right? So I really appreciate everyone taking the time to watch today's video review of Saved by the Bell on Peacock. Go check it out. Until next time, I wish you a Bayside day. Thank you. Bye.